Welcome to Lost on Ice, the show about the show 20 years later. Today, we're talking about the season finale of season 3. I'm Will. Also here is Ben, and you can watch full video episodes of the podcast on YouTube. Ben and I also release a bonus hangout show every week that can be found at patreon.com/Dr. Skeleton. What a season. What a season. A strong end to an overall kind of uneven season, in my opinion. But that's my overall impression. Definitely was a heck of a bomb to go off in the finale.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I This is one of the greatest memories that I have of the series, I guess, from when I watched it the first time. Um, yeah, specifically how we're going to end things up today. So I won't get ahead of
Yeah.
us, but yeah.
Yeah. And in my writing things up and poking into like what people's reactions were for this, I'm kind of picking up that this is kind of high watermark is maybe the wrong word, but sort of like this is an iconic finale. Or there's some iconic things that happened in this finale that we'll get
Mm,
into.
sure.
Um, Sort of, yeah. I like the reveal. I love Jack's vibe. Whatever, we'll get into it. But I guess we're also talking about episode 21, greatest hits as well. But then the finale, which was the first time that we had watched them split up into 2 episodes. Usually it had been like one long one, I think. But on the
Well,
disc it
for
was in
me,
2 episodes.
oh yeah, yeah. We as in
For
you.
sorry, for Zoe and I. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it's split up in Netflix land. I almost had to message you and ask you, probably pretty obvious question of should I watch the second half? And then I I re-listened to this is how I plan for what we're going to do every week. I just listen to the previous episode and like skip forward to
Nice.
the end where you're like, and next week we will
It's
listen
also
to whatever.
in the description.
It's in
You
the
can just
description too.
read
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But just to double check of what you actually
Yeah.
said. That's how I usually do it.
Yeah. It was combined in the Wikipedia article though, so we are gonna kinda talk about the events of the finale as one episode. But I do have like notes per half. Whatever, we'll figure it out. We've been doing
Sure.
this enough times that we'll be able to handle it. Um, what were your kind of overall reactions
Well,
seeing it this time?
I I I felt one with the characters. I felt one with Jack. And
Wow,
let me explain why. Because I watched the episodes today
you're
and
popping oxy big time.
I was not doing that, but I was feeling like it because the big news in my life is that yesterday I fell down a flight of I fell down a flight of
Oh
stairs
my god.
really hard and it hurt. Also, I was carrying like the funniest thing to be carrying. I was carrying a bowl of ramen.
Oh no. Oh, so this is at your house.
This is in my
I
house. This is in
Yeah,
my house.
those are some serious stairs.
Yeah, I fell down. I guess technically I fell down. Would you say half a flight of stairs is
Sure, yeah. Yeah.
because I fell down half a story worth of stairs, basically. Yeah, and I felt really hard in like comic book style, basically. Like I
Jesus.
was wearing socks. I guess I was just had a socks on and normal, didn't really, like, lose my footing in a normal way, but I just kinda stepped down and then banana peel style, just both of my
Oh.
feet flew out from under me, and I threw it's a good thing we have really high ceilings, I guess, in my house because, like, the ramen went up like all the liquid and stuff like flew way high up, and then I've fallen probably more time enough times that it should probably be concerning as an adult. Like maybe once a year or so I have a hard fall, which doesn't bode well for when
Yeah.
I'm actually
That
old.
usually gets better with time, I think.
Yeah. Uh, but like I feel like normally I fall and I kind of like, slip like 3 or 4 steps and maybe I fall on my butt and it hurts, but like you only go a couple steps. But like I fell all 15 steps or whatever it is, 12 steps, something like that. So it hurts. And I'm kind of leaning weird right now because I still hurts today. All of my both of my
Yeah, what
wrists,
injuries did you sustain?
my wrists and my ankles hurt really bad. And then I don't have a bruise, but it feels like it should be really bruised all along my hip up to the side of my body, but I don't have it yet. I guess I haven't looked since I woke up this morning and got dressed, but I feel like if I didn't get it overnight, I won't get it now. But yeah. So
You
anyway, I'm kind
fell
of
kind of like how Locke's dad tackled him, I'm picturing.
yes, yes, yes.
That's what happened to you.
Yeah. I fell 12 steps, half a flight of stairs, and that
Uh-huh.
anyway pretty much makes me like Jack Shepherd after being on the island for four
It might
months or
be more
whatever.
than you might have fallen more than half a story because like you said you do have tall ceilings in your house.
Yeah. We have
And so the tall ceilings are on the first floor too. So to get up to the second floor, like they're taller than normal, like you
yeah,
probably fell like it could be like
0.75, point
15,
0.7.
20 feet
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
Um I hope you didn't sustain any severe injuries. And I would probably do just about anything to get footage of that happening. Is there any chance that you had like a security system rolling on the
No.
inside or something?
No.
Oh man.
No. Shelly
Yeah.
Shelly was upstairs, like where I was descending
Uh
from
huh.
as I was doing
Was
it.
she holding like another like red
And
shell or something?
no, but it is very funny. Like the first thing that she shouted out was, "Don't cry." She gotta say, I wasn't gonna cry, but I kind of wasn't. I shouldn't be too mean about it or too proud of myself because I was kind of in like crying position. Like as I'm like sitting on
Oh,
the
Jesus.
final step, I kind of like had my head between my knees for a while, just kind of
Oh,
silently recovering
yeah.
as you do. But yeah, she's like, "Don't cry, don't cry."
That's brutal.
Yeah,
Oh my god. No, yeah, yeah, falling like that, that's a tough fall. Um, oh wait, okay. So are you managing the pain like
yeah.
with any assistance or are you just kind of
No, I haven't broken into the hospital like Jack and
okay.
stolen oxycodone or whatever. No,
That's probably for the
I'm
best.
all natural.
Nice. Is you're holding true to your commitment to no sort of medical interventions for any kind of ailment or virus, for example. Uh,
No. Yeah. No, I do every single vaccine
yeah, what do you
multiple
got?
times. I do every single
Uh-huh.
vaccine multiple times. I'm gonna take as soon as they make one, I'll take the vaccine for whatever's going on in China now that's been making people sick. Other countries I might not be familiar with yet. Let me know what's going on there. I'll go get your vaccine a couple times.
Mhm.
Uh, but bodily
You're doing
injury,
the thing like
broken
at the
a broken bone? No, I do that. I don't believe in I don't believe in modern science for a broken bone.
bones are an invention of the deep state.
You
I've
can
been
just
saying for a
you can
while.
just pop that back into place. It'll just heal itself. I mean
I mean,
it
honestly,
will.
it's kind of I mean,
Your arm might look messed up, but I think it'll heal eventually.
it is funny like you get hurt, something happens, and you go to the doctor, and it's like exactly what you thought. Like they don't have any sort of like magic thing that they do. It's sort of like, oh yeah, just like we're gonna like wrap it up. Like I didn't need to come to the doctor then, and so that's always what they're gonna do. They're always gonna do that. If you break an arm, just I don't know, rub some dirt in it, move on. I don't know. I don't know what this take is, but let's get into this show. Let's talk about season 3, episode 21, greatest hits. Sounds like Ben had about 12 of them yesterday. Air date May 16th, 2007, directed by Stephen Williams. It was written by Edward Kitsis and Adam Horowitz. The others' leader, Ben Linus, orders 10 of the others to go to the survivors' camp to kidnap any pregnant women that night, a night earlier than was scheduled. And my first note on this, Ben asks, I don't know if we got a name for the guy, but he's like, take how fast will it or how quickly can you get to the beach? He's like, if I take 10 of my best, we can get there by tonight. And I feel like that's like half of them, half of the others at that point. How many others are there? I guess is my biggest question. It kind of
Yeah.
seems like just out of like, I don't know, you can't just hire 100 extras for every establishing shot, but it seems like there are not that many of them.
Yeah. 10's also a big number, too,
It-
because there's
yeah.
not that many. There's probably like, you know, 11 guys. And he's like, if I take the 10 best, if we leave behind Will, we'll be fine.
Right.
So as long as we don't have
Yeah.
Will dragging us down, Will dragging us
Mhm.
down, we'll be fine. Yeah. Not a lot of pickings.
Right. Also, like, how does taking 10 mean that you'll get there faster? Like, why can't you all just like kind of book it? I don't know.
They're
Anyway.
doing like the Katamari Damacy thing or whatever, where they're all like they ball up into a big ball together and then they can roll faster.
Yeah, they take turns. One of them sleeps for a little bit, and the rest of them carry him. Then they take turns on the
Yeah.
way across the island. Ben's adopted daughter Alex persuades her boyfriend Carl to canoe to the survivors' beach to warn them. The survivors' leader Jack, you may have heard of him, plans to kill the ambushing others with dynamite retrieved by the island resident Danielle Rousseau.
Wikipedia man's really writing this out this week in
Yeah.
case you've just joined Lost.
Tuning in for the finale. Yeah. Uh Very funny moment here where we kind of get the reveal of what Danielle was doing at the Black Rock earlier, that ship where Locke was busy going through it with Sawyer. But yeah, she was getting dynamite, and the reveal here is that like, oh, she was getting dynamite to set up a demonstration for them all, so they could all see what it's like to blow up a tree.
Yeah. Yeah.
Saeed, Jin, and Bernard are selected to stay behind to shoot the dynamite rig tent when the others arrive. So, return of Bernard and Rose. It's been a while since we've seen them.
Yeah. I was kind of fine without them, gotta say. Not a big fan. I mean, I know they've got some stuff
I like
happening in
them.
this thing, but I don't know. I don't know
No,
about that.
I like them. And I like them together.
I'm
Good
sure the
relationship.
other B team people are nice too, but we don't extend that courtesy to them when we talk about their characters.
I'm a supporter of the B team. Like I liked now I can't remember the name. Nikki and Paolo, and I like Bernard and Rose. And I think that like the fan base seems to really like Bernard and Rose and hated Nikki and Paolo, and I don't know why.
Mm.
But what made one work and the other not, but I like them all.
Okay.
Show me the people. Desmond tells Charlie about his latest premonition. Charlie's girlfriend, Claire, that's not the case.
Not sure.
They're not GFBF. They're not Facebook
I
official.
mean, Alex isn't Ben's adopted daughter either. Alex is Ben's kind of kidnapped daughter.
Yeah, wait. Oh,
We've got
wait,
the
wait, wait,
B
wait, wait.
team Wikipedia editor on this.
Yeah.
article, it seems.
Wait, okay, maybe a stupid question. Is Ben not Alex's biological father?
N I don't think so.
Okay.
Wait,
Danielle showed up pregnant?
for this one, I'm not pretending, I'm not trying to hide anything like I do sometimes, but, like,
Yeah.
I think I can't remember. Maybe that's very stupid, but I can't remember. I think Danielle was pregnant because,
Oh, because
you know,
that she
she was
wouldn't have
not there very.
survived, right? Like, because if you get pregnant on the island, you die. That's kind of the
That's
rule,
tr
right? Because we're like,
Yeah, that's
son's
true
gonna
too.
die. So
That's true.
Danielle was pregnant. Okay. So this whole time I just thought like Alex and Ben were like biologically related, but no, yeah, he did just kidnap this kid, um, and there's really no connection there. Okay,
Yeah, I think so.
okay, but okay, so yeah, also Claire is not Charlie's girlfriend.
Definitely true.
Um, that and also, even if she was, I would not introduce her as Charlie's girlfriend Claire to like help clarify, just to set her up.
To friends. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, but yeah, Claire and her baby. So the Desmond's latest premonition is that Claire and her baby Aaron will escape the island via helicopter if Charlie flips a switch in a Dharma Initiative station and drowns. Um, this is a new premonition from Desmond, and it's told in a new way where we don't actually see it happen the way we've seen all of his other
Mm,
premonitions.
mhm.
This is just comes from him saying it's gonna happen this way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this had me like, you know, eager beaver. First note is please be the episode that Charlie dies.
Mm.
I was also my internet kept going out. So I was in a terrible mood that day. So I was in a massive hater mood. Okay, so also Saeed tells Jack that he may be able to communicate with the freighter roughly 130 kilometers offshore, and I think that's a Wikipedia conversion because in the show I think they were saying 80 miles.
80 miles, yeah. Get that out of here.
Hmm.
Kilometers, don't know about that.
Could mean anything. He could use the satellite phone of Naomi, the helicopter parachutist who landed on the island. Once he goes to the radio tower to disable Rousseau's distress signal, that's how he can, because it's like there's a playing a little fast and loose with like how actually I have no idea how this works. Once again I don't really I'm not dinging it for like actually that's not how radio waves work. They're doing it is this is why writing fiction is great because you can just like sort of give like the thinnest semblance of like justification and I'll totally buy it, doesn't matter. And be like,
Sure.
yep, since this is broadcasting, we can't get the signal through. So we need to shut that off and then we can get the signal through. Works for me, man. That's okay. Same with
Sure.
like,
Yeah.
oh, we got to discharge the electromagnetic energy every 108 minutes. And that's the only way. I'm like,
Sounds
sure,
good.
absolutely. Works for me, man. Juliet Burke informs Saeed that this will not work, though, because the underwater looking glass station is blocking outgoing transmissions. Saeed realizes that a cable he found 70 days before connects to the station and that they will need someone to go on a probable suicide mission there. And Charlie volunteers.
Didn't they consider that the cable probably is connected to the thing that they wanna go down there and turn off? No?
Yeah, that's how they get out there.
No, but why wouldn't you just cut the cable then?
Right.
Like Saeed
Yeah.
says, we don't care about how this thing works, we wanna turn it off." Like, I don't think you'd be transmitting or blocking transmissions from under the sea. So it's
Um,
probably connect under the sea is probably connected to something above the sea that does all that stuff, like the cable.
if I
So
had uh could be a plot hole for sure. I'm going to give it a pass cuz like maybe they were thinking like, okay, if that shuts down the power to the station, what if that also shuts down the power to the radio tower too? And then they couldn't get their signal out there. You know,
Well,
like
that'd be
if
two for one.
but they need.
Because
Oh wait.
they
Oh
also
yeah, they
spent
don't need the
time.
radio
They got to
station.
turn that off. Yeah, cut all the cables.
Well, yeah.
I would have considered just cut the cable before I go swimming. You know, cut that cable. Worth a
Hmm.
shot. You can always
Yeah.
patch it back together.
Maybe they didn't want to risk electrocution when they cut a big cable that's connected to the ocean. I don't
Yeah.
know. That's a good question. That's a good cinema
Sure.
sin. Ding. Wrong.
Ding. Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, to be fair, like Desmond and Charlie have a reason because they believe in the premonition, which would
Yeah, that they
indicate that
have
they
to
need
do
to
it
go down
this
there.
way. Uh,
But the other people,
I
I'm
mean,
not
some of
sure.
this is like, some of it is too like, oh, why wouldn't they just do this thing? It's like maybe they just didn't think of that. you know, like
Fine.
they're all kind of like under duress. Sometimes not everybody is as smart as the Redditors. Um, Naomi tells Charlie that his band Driveshaft released a successful greatest hits album after the crash of Flight 815. And the flashbacks of this episode are Charlie's greatest hits, referring to his life's 5 best moments in descending order. Charlie writes them down on a note as the episode goes. Number 5, the first time that he heard his band's breakout song on the radio. Number 4, when his father, Simon, taught him how to swim at Butlins. Number 3, the time when his brother Liam gave him their grandfather Dexter Stratton's DS ring, for which Driveshaft is named, as a Christmas present. The ring was a family heirloom passed down to the firstborn child, but Liam viewed himself as a mess and thought of Charlie to be more deserving. This is a very funny one because so Zoe's been big into watching Sister Wives lately, and she immediately clocked this as apparently like the DS looks exactly like the Sister Wives logo.
Oh.
In one way or another. And also very like emotional moment or played for emotion in the show. He like slides this like big stupid ring onto his finger with a handful of other stupid goofy rings too.
Yeah.
I don't know if we need to be if I got my like anagram name going with like is Dexter Stratton something I need to be thinking about, and I don't think so. I'm not gonna spend too much. It doesn't automatically look at something that needs to be an anagram, but it did make me think. Okay, the design of the DS ring, uh, could if you turn it upside down, it looks like SD.
Super dude. What's
Super
SD?
dude. I don't know,
Oh, okay.
but just
Super
think
dude.
about it. Super dude. Uh, the second best memory is when Charlie saved a woman, Nadia, from being mugged and was called a hero as no one else helped her. Um, and this was Saeed's lady, right? It's Nadia. But this was a very funny memory because uh, he like is just kind of like, "Hey, get out of here!" and the guy like runs away. And it very TV show moment where she's like immediately like, "You're such a hero. It's all about you." And he's like, "Wow, this really is all about me. I really did save you, didn't I? No one else was gonna save me, but you did." And then, of course, number 1, Charlie's best moment of his life, the night following the plane crash when he first met the then pregnant Claire.
Yeah.
I don't know why we said then pregnant, but you know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of boring. Boring life, Charlie. Sorry.
Yeah. I did. Hey, as a guy with a boring life, chill.
Later on,
Not all of
later
us can
on,
be sustaining major injuries by falling down our stairs.
later on, he does say to Desmond or whatever, like these are the 5 best moments from my, my so-called life. interesting life or something
Like my
like that.
miserable excuse for a
My
life,
miserable
something
excuse
like that.
for a life. And Desmond, does the, like, your life
Okay,
doesn't
buddy.
suck, whatever, like, don't say that, that kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
Mm, you were doing a lot of weird stuff, Charlie. Yeah, it's not the best. It's not the most interesting list. I don't know what I'm getting at.
My list is like flashbacks to me eating 5 different tacos, just like it's the most boring,
More
greatest hits album of all
interesting
time.
more interesting than the sentimental stuff, I gotta say. I mean, I know it doesn't help move the plot along, but put me on the Lost Island, kill me off, let me have a list. It's not gonna be the greatest in the world, but maybe I'd put some, taco related story or something like that.
Uh, I don't wanna give away the game too much here, but, I did think that the greatest hits, it worked for me. Like, I don't know. I'm the being overly sentimental, I have a high tolerance for sentimentality, and I think that Damon Lindelof can sometimes veer into that territory, but it usually works for me. And I just kind of like the idea of like a greatest hits album, like that metaphor for like your best moments is
Sure.
kind of a cute one. Um, him like writing them down and like make sure you give this to Claire is like a little bit like that wasn't necessarily working for me, but whatever. Before paddling out to the looking glass with Desmond, Charlie assures Claire that he will be fine, kisses her goodbye, and leaves a choking hazard in Aaron's crib. He just like,
Yeah, that
right,
part
like
was pretty
don't,
funny, yeah.
don't. That's dangerous. Once Desmond and Charlie arrive over the station, Charlie gives Desmond his note and asks that he give it to Claire. Desmond offers to do the job instead, saying that he suspects that his flashes are recommending to him to take Charlie's place. To keep him from doing so, Charlie knocks Desmond out with an oar and dives into the water. Upon entering the station, 2 others named Greta and Bonnie appear with guns aimed at Charlie. We do indeed see Charlie swimming in his jeans.
Yep.
Of course, is lost.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. It is a goofy, I mean, obviously, it's TV, primetime TV, whatever, and it's 2000, what's the year now?
I think we're in
2006?
2007. Yeah.
2007. So it's not gonna have the best look, but kinda little goofy underwater scene
Yeah, the
with
CG
Charlie's swimming
looking glass stuff. Oh, under the him swimming. Yeah.
swimming underwater, yeah. I don't quite know, for some reason, it just brought James Cameron to mind. Maybe like The Abyss or something like that. It just had a weird
For
weird
some
look.
reason, he's like the most famous like guy who makes movies about water of all time.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's not like Charlie turned into Avatar.
Apparently, though, Charlie did reference his performance in the following episode, or he looked to Leonardo DiCaprio's performance in Titanic to be his be a reference point for his performance in the next episode.
In Dying in the Water?
Spoilers, yes,
Okay, sorry.
or swimming, I guess,
Well,
underwater.
everybody's if you've been
And then
listening
they're
to
like he
our
opened his mouth. They were like Charlie opens his mouth underwater, and
sure.
apparently that was inspired by Leonardo DiCaprio opening his mouth underwater.
Nice. I thought of I thought of Eva Green at the end of, Casino Royale, which would have
Yeah.
happened by this point. I mean, like,
Yes,
as in the movie would have
we are
happened,
in a
not
post
in
Casino
real
Royale
life.
world. Yeah.
Those guys didn't get to well, actually, they in Lost Universe, it's still, like, 2004 or something probably, right? So, they could go
Yeah.
back, watch Casino Royale.
Yeah, because when is Casino Royale gonna? We're gonna track the timeline along.
Yeah.
We're gonna see like the others who have access to the outside media get like a DVD
At this
and
point at this point in my life, I actually in real 2004, I would have been tracking the release of Casino Royale very closely. I don't know if it would have
yes.
been had a title by that point, but like this was back in my days where I was on, James Bond
Hmm.
forums and talking about Bond. What would it have been? Bond 20? Bond 21? Something like that? 2020? Yeah, Bond 20. What's gonna be? So I would have been on the island and been like, okay, another little
Damn,
spoiler.
we
I would
need
have
to
been
get
saying,
off of here.
we need to go back. We need to go back. I gotta see Bond 20. I gotta figure out what the
Uh-huh.
name of the movie is gonna be. This Daniel Craig character, or whatever. Also don't really remember when he would have been announced, but I'm sure I would have known or been thinking about it at the time.
Hmm. Did you watch Layer Cake before Casino Royale or afterwards as like a
No,
let me fill
de
in my Daniel Craig?
definitely afterwards, yes. Same
Okay.
with, like, The Dreamers, like Eva Green's The Dreamers, which is,
Hmm.
like, I wasn't watching that stuff as a how old would I have been?
Sure.
13-year-old,
That would have been
14-year-old,
a
something like
funny
that?
thing
Yeah.
for you to just watch as a 12-year-old.
I mean, I guess I probably did watch it as a 12-year-old, but I watched it after Casino
After. Yeah,
Royale.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, back to the episode. I guess maybe Charlie and Claire do become BFGF because they did kiss. And
sure.
I don't know. I don't mean to say that like people can't be redeemable for their stuff. Like he did kidnap Aaron, and he was like, I don't think we ever like really worked through that whole thing, like his like obsession with Claire and Aaron,
Sure.
and seems like things are forgiven. But
They might have, this might be one of those situations of, like, Charlie says, "I consent," Claire says, "I consent," and then Will, you're over here, you're like, "Hold up, we haven't dealt with this enough. You forgot to ask someone." Yeah,
that could be it. Happened off screen. Maybe I guess I would have liked to see that happen directly addressed.
sure.
Saying that like it rephrases it or like reframes anything, like, yeah, whatever. Um, I'm gonna give this an episode a 3 out of 5. I think.
Oh, okay.
Uh, it's good despite Charlie at the time. I was also in a bad mood, but yeah, I'm at 3 out of 5
Yeah.
for this.
This is a 4 for me.
Okay.
Got a lot of 4s lately.
Yeah, it's a strong end of the season. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not. I would say it's a strong 3, which just means 3. This episode of Lost on Ice, the show about the show, is brought to you by Ben and I. Thanks for listening to the podcast. If you like the show, please consider subscribing to the YouTube channel or heading on over to patreon.com/Dr. Skeleton, where you can get that second episode of the podcast release every week. Thanks for being here. All right, let's
I
dig
thought of
in.
something else.
What's
Since
up?
it's the finale, I wanna add to your ad read there. Maybe you don't have money for the podcast to listen to Patreon, but maybe personally know Damon Lindelof or J.J. Abrams or someone like that, and you could put us in touch. You could do that too. That'd be cool.
That would be
That'd be
another
fun.
way of showing your appreciation. Yeah.
That'd be
Maybe
another
you
way.
don't have $5 or maybe you don't have the Patreon app because you can actually access some free content on the Patreon page. Most notably recently our best of 2024 episode, which was a lot of
Sure.
fun to make. Maybe you don't have those resources, but you do have the power to greenlight a full-on TV show for the two of us to create over at
Exactly.
ABC as the Lost follow-up.
Yes.
That
I
we'd
have
also take that.
I need to talk to J.J. Abrams. Someone put me in contact with him right now. I need to say something. I know people joke about that for like, you know, like conspiracy theorists and stuff like that. I'm thinking about it though because I was in the city today and I went to the dentist and there's like a sticker on a lamppost that caught my eye that said like the government sucks or something. It's like the government sucks. Call me to find out why now. And then it had somebody's full phone number. I just seems
There's a
similar kind of
like
guy.
a really long queue of people like there waiting to punch in the number to find out. It's a
Yeah.
surprisingly effective advertisement. All right, let's talk about the finale. We're talking about Through the Looking Glass, the finale to season 3. This is episode 22 and 23. This aired as a double episode, I think, or like an 85-minute on May 23rd, 2007. It was directed by Jack Bender, consistently, probably at this point, the highest hit rate director of the series, I would say. And it was written by Carlton Cuse and Damon Lindelof.
I just got to finale. I just got to put some more stuff out there. Jack Bender. If anybody listened to our James Bond episode, you know, probably the most commonly said name was not James Bond. It was a man by the name of Maurice Binder, who has
I knew it was a mistake to pause for a little bit to let you say something.
of no relation to Jack Bender, as far as I know. Let us know if you know otherwise. But
Yeah.
I think about both guys because their names sound the same, and that's how my brain works on most things.
Binder and Bender. Maybe there's both in showbiz.
Because of, let me tell you another thing that's not going to make sense to anybody, but it's connected in my mind. Because of that Charlie, the first episode with Charlie and his dad and then his brothers, and you're getting a bunch of British accents, I went down a little bit of a Wikipedia rabbit hole in between that episode and the finales, where I was reading about British accents, all the different British accents, and there's a bunch of Wikipedia pages.
There were some crazy accents at the pool flashback.
Yes,
So,
exactly.
yes.
That's what got me.
Oh, interesting.
And so I listened to all the British accents that they have on Wikipedia that I could find, and I don't know that it translated anything. I still don't really know what Charlie's is or any of those other people, but you know, they got a bunch.
He and Naomi bonded over both being from the same place.
Manchester.
Right? Both from Manchester. Yeah.
Manchester, but I don't know if that's true for Dominic Monaghan. I forget. I mean, I guess I could look it up, but that'd be cheating because I was trying to learn. I want to learn to identify the accents.
Yeah.
Like I'm a bird watcher, you know?
Folks, I think we've got a premium show concept. We'll be listening to all of the accents on Wikipedia. Excellent. So, okay, let's talk about the show. This episode begins in late December 2004, over 90 days after the crash of Oceanic Airlines Flight 815. Wait, what am I reading? What did I copy in from Wikipedia? I'm gonna skip this paragraph.
Okay, season 4.
All right. No, it just kind of giving like what it says is just like the battle between the crash survivors and the mysterious island inhabitants, referred to the others, comes to an end.
They're really, explaining from first principles what this episode of Lost is about.
So airplanes, they're like a boat, but could be in the air. Okay, flashback sequences. We get the rumble, like, ooh, here comes the flashback noise. Jack is shown to be depressed, bearded, heavily drinking, and addicted to oxycodone. This is the best. He's driving around in a classic Ford Bronco, very sick car. He's got a bunch of hair glued to his face. It's great. I actually really dug his vibe as
yeah, it was pretty cool.
I don't know, like the spun out crash out Jack.
Yeah,
that mode. I was appreciating it.
You're right. I didn't quite think about it, but yeah, you're right about it's a Bronco.
Yeah,
it's really that makes even more sense. He's kind of got the OJ car, right?
Yeah,
I think that's how they sell it. If you go to the dealer, they say, "You want the OJ car?
Give me the OJ." It's not
a good
white
look for Jack's thing. I do like Jack's.
Yeah. He's wearing like a
beard.
He's got a good look. He's got the beard, and he's got like a jean jacket going too. Like, he's kind of nice with it.
Yeah. It is very funny that he wears the jean jacket in the hospital when he's doing some doctor stuff, which is I would do that too if I was a doctor.
Yeah,
I do that.
Why not?
I do software and I do that. I go to
Kind of a bad boy
I,
of the software
I'm kind of
development
a
world.
bad boy, but I kind of
Yeah.
I get to feel the same way when I go to the office because software people they like to just wear like sweatpants and like a hoodie or
Yeah.
something and kind of look a little stupid sometimes. No disrespect, I guess, to all of my colleagues who ever done that. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. Uh, you put on a jean
But
jacket.
you're full greaser and you're like slicking
Yeah.
back your hair.
Even though
Cigarette.
they see me through my camera the other like 364 days of the year, but that one day when we
Uh-huh.
all go to the office or whatever, I put on the jean jacket, slick back my hair.
Uh,
People are like, "Whoa, that guy's a badass."
Got a switchblade going the whole time. Yep,
Yep.
here he is. I'm driving around in my vintage Ford Bronco at the same time. I'm writing code on in the laptop. That's so you know I'm a badass. So after reading about the death of someone he knew, we don't know, Jack prepares to commit suicide by jumping off the 6th Street Viaduct Bridge. 6th Street Viaduct Bridge heads going crazy in the Wikipedia on this. Loving that.
How did
Um,
they that's they just eyeballed it?
they got
Was
the
that
GeoGuessr guy
shown?
to maybe it's like super identifiable if you live in LA. I don't know. But he also a rare like TV character like threatening suicide move that like really made my stomach drop was realizing that like he's positioning himself to like land on the concrete, not in the water. And
Oh.
that's some nasty work. Uh
Oh, I didn't catch that. For real. Wait, how did
that's
they
what
show that? Did I just overlook
not
it?
like what they didn't like make a big deal out of it. Just like one of the cuts, it just seems like that's where he would have landed. He would have landed
Oh.
and hit the concrete instead of the water, which like
Was
either
there
way, I
other
mean, I guess you'd
was there other water below? Did I just
yeah,
imagine that?
yeah. There was a river
Okay.
and concrete next to it,
Okay.
and he like it was you know because like it's L.A. and all their rivers are like you know it's like concrete rivers and stuff, and he was just like
Oh,
off to the side where he was gonna land on the yeah the
interesting.
hard cement.
LA, weird place. I don't go there. I don't go there, so I don't know about that kind of stuff. But
Not the week to be lobbing bombs towards them, probably.
I'm not lobbying things towards them.
Okay.
Also, somebody could be listening to this in the future when something
Good happens.
good happens.
Hope everyone's doing okay in Southern California. However, before he's able to, do himself in, a car crash occurs on the bridge before he jumps, and he goes to the victims. It is later revealed, and pretty obvious in the moment, that the driver crashed after being distracted by Jack. Later, Jack visits the memorial service for the person he knew and finds himself to be the only attendee. And I did write down the name of the funeral home. Hoff's Drawler Funeral Parlor. Weird name. And this is definitely an anagram kind of thing. They got my like anagram like mine going. But I did not put it together before the end of the episode. So I'm not going to give myself too much credit. But it is an anagram.
Okay.
And I will reveal at the end of the episode what that's an anagram for.
Okay. Stay tuned.
Stay with me, Ben. I know you're gonna you're gonna get the decoder ring out for the rest. And I'm gonna save that last flashback for the end of this episode so we can kind of experience it in real time.
Sure.
On the island, the others intend to attack the camp and kidnap the pregnant women for scientific research. The survivors are tipped off by the other Carl and plan to kill the others with dynamite. Saeed, Jin, and Bernard remain at the beach, tasked with igniting the dynamite, while the rest of the survivors go with Danielle to the radio tower to communicate with Naomi and her nearby ship. This is all stuff that we've, I guess, set up in the previous episode, but this is here. But it actually starts happening in here. The others arrive, and while Saeed and Bernard detonate their targets, Jin misses. He was not going to be the guy I would have guessed to miss.
Yeah. He seems like the guy that
Definitely would have.
target.
Yeah. I mean, we do get the setup of like, it's definitely going to be Bernard that misses because, like, say it again, like, I'm a dentist, not a soldier, or whatever that Rose makes Bernard
Rambo.
say.
Yeah.
You're not Rambo.
I'm not
yes.
Rambo.
Mm-hmm.
Very disrespectful. Very disrespectful to dentists. I'm sensitive. to that. My dad's a dentist. Little sensitive. Everybody's
What,
always
you
teasing.
think your dad's Rambo?
Maybe he could be. Maybe he could be if not so many people are out there trash talking dentists and saying they can't live up to things. You know who else was a dentist? Bashar al-Assad.
I thought he I thought he was an optometrist.
Is he? I always thought it was a dentist. Oh no, dentist taking another hit.
Jin misses, which results in the capture of those three. I'm just like hovering, realizing that I had Bashar al-Assad trivia like locked and loaded, his profession ready to go. This is so good for me.
That
Anyway,
sucks. I thought I had that locked and ready to go, and then you just sniped it
Uno
out from under
reverse
me.
card. Yeah. After hearing only 2 explosions, Sawyer and Juliet go back to the beach. Oh, I remember what I was going to say here. Okay. It wasn't covered in the synopsis of the previous episode, but it's okay to bring up now here too. As Charlie and Desmond are going off to the Looking Glass, and as Sawyer and Juliet are going back to the beach, Hurley goes up to each of them, each pair, and is like, "Hey, I want to help." And each time, they're like, "Go on, nobody wants you anyway. Get out of here," to like get him to just go away. Because in Charlie's case, like he knows that he's on a suicide mission. He doesn't want to get Hurley involved in it, and like I think might be a similar case for Sawyer and Juliet. But I want to call out specifically Jorge Garcia's performance when he goes up to Charlie and says, "Hey, can I come with you?" Charlie, like the way that Charlie gets him to not come with him, he's like, "Look at you, Hurley. You're too big. You can't come with us. You're too fat." And
He literally says you won't fit in the boat.
you won't fit in the boat.
Yeah.
Jorge Garcia does something with his eyes in this performance. He's channeling something really real there. Like, it was like, it really got me. I don't know. Like, when Charlie, like, "You're too big. You can't come with." He, like, for a minute, for there's a flash of, like, he's drawing on something here. So my heart's breaking for him in both of these scenes. And, like, Sawyer does the same thing to him, too. He's like, "You just get in the way." And what's almost more cutting though is that like Juliet like makes eye contact with him and then just like turns and walks away too. I don't know. Tough. And yet, who shows up in Chekhov's van but Hurley himself? He drives that VW bus onto the beach, and the captives gain the upper hand. Saeed murders one of the guards with his thighs in a really sick move.
Yeah. I mean, Hurley smashes the first one, right?
Yeah.
With the,
So
with
like
the
so seven
VW.
of so we get the numbers, right? We get that originally 10% there, and then they make a big deal about like 7 being blown up by the dynamite. So we've got 3 remaining. Hurley hits one of them with the car. Saeed snaps the neck of the second to last guard, and then we just are left with Tom, who surrenders, and Sawyer blows him away anyway. He just fires into his chest, and Hurley's like, "Whoa, man, we already beat him. You didn't need to kill him." But he's like, "This is for taking the kid." Blammo. I'm on Sawyer's side on this one. I think you do blow him away.
Sawyer did say, I think specifically he says, I didn't trust him after Hurley sort of protests that that he had surrendered. But yeah.
Are we gonna see?
How are you gonna handle that? How are you gonna handle that though? Well, kind of see, but like, if you're in the moment before we get to season 4, like, how are you thinking about handling that when the rescue team shows up and they're like, "So where's everyone else?" And you have to be like,
There's a bunch of dead bodies around.
Some of
What
them
happened
died.
here?
Killed a couple guys. What are these? You got a lot of people with bullet, like
No.
fatal gunshot wounds on this
Mm-mm.
island.
Mm-mm. That's a good point. They're not real people. The cops said I could just leave. In the looking glass, Charlie Pace is captured by the resident others, Greta and Bonnie. Ben learns of Charlie's infiltration and sends Mikhail to the station to kill them to protect the signal jammer. Mikhail arrives and kills Greta and Bonnie, but is shot with a spear gun by Desmond, who hid in the station after diving down after Charlie. Before she dies, Bonnie gives Charlie the code. He's like, wouldn't you, like, you've been lied to by Ben. Wouldn't you like to know that you're going to do something that's really going to piss off Ben? And she's like, good vibrations.
Yeah. So
It's the
funny.
notes to the middle eight notes of Good Vibrations by the Beach Boys.
Yeah. Very so funny. So funny. I loved it
So
when I saw it the first time in college or whatever. So goofy. It's so funny too because it's not like it's a song that people know. Like obviously it's a song that Charlie would know, but it's not really a song that I think and this is true when Charlie puts in the password or whatever. Like it's not a song with a very obvious like uh beginning to the riff. Like it's not I don't know how to put this. It's not obvious to me even though I know that song very well because my dad is a Beach Boys head. It was a Beach Boys head when I was growing up. Uh it's like I think I know the whole song, but if somebody told me that, I'd be like, "But where do you start? Where do you
Well,
start?" It's a
that's the problem, right? Like music. There's a couple of problems with this, but like, uh, it's like it's the middle eight notes of Good Vibrations, or I don't even know what that necessarily, but it's like it's the melody to Good Vibrations, and then you're like, all right, where would I start? Like it's
I
all
would s
relative, right? Or is it like, oh no, you have to have perfect pitch to know where to start that,
well,
and
that's
also
true
be
too,
able to
yeah,
know like
yeah.
which what the sounds the keypad is gonna make. Uh, the the biggest uh crazy thing to me about this though is did you catch the layout of the keypad?
Uh, no.
Picture any keypad in your head. It's 3 rows of 3, right? Not
Yeah.
this keypad. It's like rows of 4, which would be so that would throw me off so bad if I was trying to enter in a code.
I watched, I was watching another James Bond reference, Moonraker last night, and they have a similar thing in Moonraker where Bond breaks into a room with a musical musical keypad, but at least it's 3 by 3. You know, or I guess it's probably
Yeah.
10 numbers, right? 9 and then you got the 0 at the bottom.
Yeah.
And yeah, similar problem where it's like, how do you know where to start? You're right that
Yeah.
you've got to have perfect pitch, but you're not sitting down at a piano. You're sitting down at a keyboard at
Yeah.
a
At keypad.
keypad.
We all know what the sound 5 makes. Y'all know how
Concert
5
5 how 5
concert
is a
5.
concert
Oh, can
C.
I get a
Yeah.
5? Can I get a 5? I mean, okay, so to maybe try to stitch this together though, like maybe he remembered that she started the code on 5, right? Because she did list off the code first. She
Sure.
was like 5 5 4 1, and he's like, wait, start over 5 5 what? And so like maybe he was able to be like, okay, I could start with 5, and then, but what are the intervals? What are the is it a major scale that we got on the keypad? Like I don't
Yeah.
or but also though this is in 2007 where people were maybe it was a lot people were way more used to or like remembered dialing numbers more, right?
Mm.
Like and so like uh those are like constant tones or absolute pitches in those, right? So maybe it wasn't too much of a stretch to imagine that the musician would be able to remember what 5 sounds like after 90 days on an island. But
How are you gonna know how are you even gonna know where she doesn't finish. Let's say he figures it out. She doesn't
He
really
just
say
does the
what
whole
the
thing. Yeah.
end of the thing. You just do the rest of the song at that point.
Just in there, yeah, going through the rest of the Beach Boys catalog. Like, I'm really good at this, but like, how do I do it in my head?
Yeah,
Going through
I
all of
probably would have
Pet Sounds
started.
on the
I
weirdest
would have
keyboard of all
started
time.
with "Good Vibrations," like the chorus, the core part of the chorus too, which is not where he starts. I would have started with "Good, good, good, good vibrations." That's my fake
I actually don't know the
sing
song,
talking thing.
so
Really? Okay.
uh can't hang with it too well.
I
But
think they also say that it was programmed by, they don't say it's by
it was
a
programmed by. They did say a
a
musician.
a musician. Like, no disrespect really to the Beach Boys. I've come to they were very annoying when my dad listened to them as a kid, but I come around on it. But, like, they don't like, you could just say, like, it was programmed by, like, a guy that smokes a lot of weed or something like that too. Like, the Beach Boys aren't like, they're not, your favorite musician is the Beach Boys or whatever.
I thought that was kind of their reputation. Like, it's
Is
sort of
it?
like they seem like it's super like, oh, this is just like simple surfer whatever, but then it's like, oh, it's actually like super
It's
intricate
actually super,
harmonies
yeah. I mean, that's
and all that, like really inventive. It's really genre based.
I mean, I think that both of those I think what you said and what I said are still true though, that I don't
I
know.
take your point though that you don't need to be like a musician to uh probably
Know
if
the
a
Beach Boys.
musician well, yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, were to program it, they probably wouldn't pick good vibrations, maybe. Or I don't know. I don't know.
You pick a deeper
But
cut.
yeah.
You'd pick that Ronettes song that he was obsessed with. Whatever. Back to Lost.
Back to Lost Gang. Charlie disables the jammer, typing it into the keypad, and is contacted by Penny Widmore through video transmission. Penny informs Charlie that she does not know Naomi and did not send the boat that Naomi claims to be from. And Naomi did say that Penny hired her, right? I'm pretty sure that happened.
Mhm.
So Naomi's under false pretenses. Mikhail manages to swim out of the station and destroys the window of the room with a grenade. So he was not dead. Once again, Mikhail not dead.
Yep.
And this kills him, presumably. At this point, I'm like, oh, this guy's just invincible. But it floods the communications room. Charlie sees this happening and locks the door to save Desmond.
Grenade seems extreme, like very. I know I'm doing cinema sin stuff, but a very impractical thing to do underwater,
It seems like something that
like
would
up
like
to a window,
fizzle out.
because you just have to
That would not
you
work.
have to hold it there. Like, assume that it goes off, which I don't really know the specifics of how a grenade works.
Yeah.
Let's just assume that it is able to explode, and that's fine. You kind of got to hold it there because you're underwater and you're holding it up to a tiny porthole window. Because if you like leave it there and swim away, it's just going to sink, you know?
But he does hold it there.
Well, I know. But that's,
And it does. And it works.
I guess it did work, but I'd like to get away if I were him. If I were
Well,
Mikhail.
unless you're invincible, which he appears to be, and be like, whatever, I'll just take this.
I'd be
Is he?
concerned that I'm
Are
a
we
sort
supposed to
of
learn that?
9 lives cat style thing. I've got so many lives, I wouldn't be wasting them.
I guess I don't mean to like make you give anything away, but like, I'm reading from this that like, oh, he can't die. Like he has been killed twice, or is this supposed to be like, oh, you just need to like be super sure that he died? Like they keep thinking that he's dead, but not quite. Uh,
I think it's the common uh trope of Soviet guys can't die. You know,
I didn't know that was a
what's
like Sean
definite?
Bean.
Well, I mean, yeah, as big Bond fan, very much holds
Yeah.
true in movies. If you're a guy from the Soviet Union, they get you really you gotta watch somebody's gotta watch you die for
because they're just
sure.
super tough.
You're really tough.
Okay.
You know, Rasputin. Ras Rasputin. Weird
Putin.
weird to get the weird to say it, yeah. You emphasize a lot of syllables there. Uh, yeah, Rasputin style.
Sure. Okay. So also I guess like his like eye being lost too. We're supposed to sort of get the like, oh, he is just like a really tough guy who has survived a lot, and
Sure.
it's not like I mean
That's how
also like
I'm
the island seems to have an
ch
effect on people's
choosing.
healing ability, and so there's that. But like we see a bunch of people die in this show.
Yeah.
Uh, maybe some people just are like more close to the attuned to the island, that kind of thing. But I feel like it's kind of like zombie stuff. Like you got to be like super sure, right? Like got to cut their head off or whatever. Like
Yeah.
could Mikhail be killed? I'm getting from this like no, but apparently it's worth. It's kind of
I choose to read it. I would suggest you read it as uh strong Russian guy.
okay.
And
And
the
so
island
is he
and the
dead
island
now?
stuff.
Are we supposed to read it as he's dead? Like this says he killed himself with a grenade here.
I think you could
'Cause-
probably doubt. You could be like,
Okay, because
I
I'll
don't
say
know.
I'm still doubting that he's dead.
Okay.
So but this floods the communication room. Charlie locks the door to save Desmond, and also to ensure that his premonitions come true. I saw some discussions like, why didn't Charlie just like run out of the room? This all has to Charlie, like this all has to happen in order for Claire
Yes.
to be rescued.
Though I don't think that that's necessary. I think Charlie acted very quickly and didn't realize until he had kind of shut the door and looked back around. I don't think he really realized what he had done
Mm,
until the door was already shut. It's kind of endearing, you know? Because it kind of have
yeah,
that moment where all of a sudden his face he shut the door and he kind of backs away, and then all of a sudden his face changes and he kind of realizes like, oh, it's
this
coming
is
true
it.
right now. This is it.
Yeah,
I've done it.
yeah. He since being given this premonition about Charlie is going to die, like and drown in order to save Claire and Aaron, he is in a like he kind of turns into a different person, or like the best version of himself. I think through
Sure.
this, like he's back to like a moth version uh, of Charlie. And so like before he drowns in this room, Charlie writes "Not Penny's boat" on his hand in a Sharpie as a warning to Desmond about the freighter. He holds it up to the porthole. It's not
Yeah.
Penny's boat.
I was imagining we need to get some Zoomers or Gen Alpha people on our show now and see how they read that because like for us millennials or you're maybe imagine a Gen X person or something like that watching this in 2004 and like I makes sense. It's sort of saying it's not Penny's boat, right? It's an incomplete sentence. But to a Zoomer or Gen Alpha person, it might be a little bit of a different read, or it's like
I see where you're going with this. Yeah.
not Penny's boat.
Not Penny's boat. Not me realizing it's not Penny's boat.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, they've come to slay you. Yeah, this was a great not only Sharpie ad, but also very like emotional moment. It was it was sad. I will admit
It is
Charlie's
sad.
death was sad.
This has been the thing the the biggest thing I've been holding back from you, which is very funny for these 3 seasons or whatever so
Uh,
far,
you'll
is
actually be sad when
you
he dies.
you being so happy, yeah, you being so excited for him to die, and me at many points too being like, let's kill him.
Yeah.
But it is a good exit, I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's sad.
And like it does like it does his character a great service. Like to the
Yeah.
whole arc, it helps a lot too. So
Sure.
like I can see why people upon rewatch and stuff, or like once you get through this episode, like I can see like, the Charlie meter goes up quite a bit, with this episode in mind. And so I don't know. There's still he's st- he's still like deeply annoying in a lot of the episodes, and I would encourage people who like love Charlie. I'm
To
holding
change your
both of these in
mind.
my head. I'm holding well, I'm not trying to like trash him necessarily, but like I'm holding both these in my mind that like this was he was a deeply annoying character in a lot of ways, and this is actually a very noble end for him, noble and selfless end,
Sure.
and it was a very sad moment.
Yes. It was a funny thing to me though was that not I'm really not joking about this. I the memory in my mind of watching this the first time. I remember Charlie looking through the porthole and Desmond. I had that picture in my mind. The thing that I had the untrue thing that I had baked into my memory over the last 10 years or whatever of this was that uh it was a lot longer and it went into slow motion when he's underwater, and also that they play that Imogene Heap song.
Again, JJ Abrams, please contact us. We have
Please.
we need to make Lost 2.
Yes.
uh,
And so I was genuinely like surprised when I watched it, and then it just kind of moves on. And I was like, ah, I guess that wasn't real. They don't do the song.
it would have been the time to do it though, like on the internet culture. So maybe there were like remixes on YouTube or something of this happening,
A
or
fan cam,
a fan
or
cam.
Charlie fan
But
cam,
this is the
probably.
days
Yeah.
before they were called fan cams. Yeah.
No, I think they called them
Um,
fan cams back then, didn't they? Yeah.
I was just introduced to this term recently, so maybe
Okay.
I've just been out on it for a while.
Sure.
All right. So Charlie's dead. Rip. John Locke, however, is not. He's been shot by Ben, but he's found his legs paralyzed again, and he's about to commit suicide with a gun that he finds in the pit of dead bodies. When
Yeah.
he is stopped by Walt. Hey, I'm
In
Walt.
age, yeah. While going through puberty is very funny. Yeah.
Wait. Yeah. Walt tells John that he has the use of his legs and that he has work to do. Meanwhile, Ben tells Richard Alpert to lead the rest of the others to the temple and leaves the others with his adopted daughter Alex, Rousseau's daughter and Carl's girlfriend, to meet up with the survivors to persuade Jack not to call Naomi's ship for rescue. This was kind of a sick scene, I thought, where like Ben's like, I'm gonna take care of this myself. And how am I gonna do it? I'm gonna like roll up basically by myself, and I'm just gonna talk them out of it. Like what's his biggest weapon? Like what is Ben's like superpower? It's just like he's really good at talking. He can talk you
Yeah.
into believing him kind of no matter what. Like that's this character at the strongest, I think. He can show up with no weapons and no backup or anything and still be like a huge threat, or like he can be perceived as like such a threat is the best part of Ben's character to me.
Sure.
Kate is upset about Sawyer not wanting her to come back to the beach with him to rescue Saeed, Jin, and Bernard. And Jack tells her it is because Sawyer was trying to protect her. When she asks why Jack is defending Sawyer, Jack informs Kate that's because he loves her. I don't know if I agree with that sentence, but Jack tells Kate that he loves her.
Yeah.
Ben and Alex intercept Jack's group. Ben informs Jack that Naomi is not who she says she is, and making contact with her boat will be disastrous for everyone. Ben orders the shooting of Saeed, Jin, and Bernard, and when Jack hears 3 shots, he attacks Ben. Beats the heck out of him. Unknown to Jack, however, the shots were fired into the sand, following earlier orders from Ben. Rousseau meets her daughter, who was Alex, who was kidnapped by the others shortly after her birth. This was a good meeting, I thought, because like it could be overplayed with like, you know, a swell of emotional music or like, who are you? Like, I'm your mother kind of thing. But Ben is like lying there, like beaten up and bleeding and stuff, kind of like looks up at the two of them and he's like, Alex, this is your mother. And they just kind of look at each other. And I think the performances are good there. They're just kind of it's kind of understated. It'd be weird to meet your mom like that. And Danielle's kind of like a weird forced person now too.
Yeah.
So it's not just like, oh my gosh, I missed you so much. I love you, mom.
She does touch her face though.
She
Danielle's being
does.
a
She
little
like brushes her
weird.
hair a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, kind of like an animalistic way of like trying to remember what it's like to be a human, I think. In a way. Yeah.
Sure.
The survivors, now able to get a signal, arrive at the radio tower. Rousseau disables her distress signal, freeing the frequency for Naomi. However, before she can make contact, phew, big old knife in the back, big machete thrown into Naomi's back. It's Locke, baby. He kills her and threatens to kill Jack if he calls Naomi's boat. He's got the gun pointed at him and everything. Locke cannot bring himself to kill Jack, so he slinks away. He's out. And Jack communicates with George Minkowski on Naomi's boat. Minkowski tells the survivors that they will be sending rescue.
I think that's a little. Does he say his name? Or is that a reveal from
Yeah.
the future? Oh, okay. I don't remember the full name. Okay.
It doesn't mean anything to me though.
Sure.
Should it?
No, I just
Okay.
seemed like maybe they were revealing something.
So yeah, everyone's happy. Like, hey, we're gonna be rescued. Meanwhile, audience is sort of like, something's up. We get this isn't Penny's boat. Naomi was lying. Was Ben telling? There's the thing that's like the most like unsettling about it all though too is that like at no like Naomi has been like totally has not given any indication in her performance of like any sort of like nefarious intentions or anything. Like at no point,
Yeah.
they're like even as like a viewer of a TV show, like wouldn't they do something that's sort of like a little sneaky or like give you like one like last lingering look somewhere or whatever? But like everything is played like totally straight for her, and so like it's unsettling for me in this way. And then, so now let's talk about the final flashback of the episode. In the last flashback, Kate appears and Jack discusses the island with her. In a twist ending, it becomes clear that the sequences are actually flash forwards. Jack talks about using the golden pass that they received from Oceanic Airlines to fly across the Pacific Ocean every week in the hope that he will crash back on the island. Jack laments about having to lie and that they should never have left. Kate disagrees and leaves while Jack desperately tells her that we have to go back.
We have to go back. Yeah. What's up, everybody? We finally arrived at it. The most famous line in the show.
Took me completely by surprise. It was nothing about it made like I did not see this coming at all.
I'm surprised. I want to ask you about that.
We'll get into it.
You didn't know, you couldn't tell from the other Scruffy Jack flashbacks that it was the future? You didn't have any guess at all? You thought it was the past? Wow.
I thought it was the past the whole time. And I don't feel stupid for thinking that. He's talking about his dad. He's talking about like if I'm drunk, like how about you go get my dad and see who's drunker?
Yeah.
And so now that we know this is a flash forward, Christian Shepherd confirmed alive. We never saw his body. We never saw him die. I guess he's alive. That's crazy.
Or is it like a Mikhail thing, and you better see the body. What's the
That's what I'm
lawyer?
saying. Yeah,
Well,
he's alive.
no, 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 no,
Not
no,
that
no, no.
he
But I'm saying the
came back to
opposite.
life.
I'm saying the opposite of that. How do you know he's alive until you see him walking around? How do you
Oh,
know that? Yeah, have you considered that Jack might be crazy?
maybe. That's true. Okay. That's fair.
Jack is not in a good place right
Um
now.
and the other okay, but in the moment I was reading that, that's flashback. Also, I don't know if like it was we're watching this on Blu-ray. The quality's been very, very good, but like when Kate shows up at the airport at the end of the episode, like
She's
she's
looking
like
smooth.
smooth Kate. Yes, it's smooth Kate, dude. Like
'Cause that is known as, makeup, I believe.
she's wearing makeup on the island. That's not just like what you look like, right?
Well, I mean, obviously, but I'm saying that obviously they're in a TV show and she's wearing makeup on the island, but she's supposed to look like she's not wearing makeup on the island. And now she's at the airport in the future or whatever you wanna call it. She's supposed to be looking like she's you know, a contemporary American woman wearing makeup.
Something about the way that she appeared there, like it made me do like it kind of like it almost like kind of ruined the impact of the reveal a little bit because I was like, this is like a supernatural like monster doppelganger thing where like it's Kate but not quite. Like there's kind of like a shapeshifter thing going on. Like it's Kate's voice and like it's Kate's shape but her face is like off. And so I'm like it's okay. So it's the smoke monster like in disguise or something. But I guess I should have just been like okay, it's a woman wearing makeup but I'm like it's evil because like there's some like nefarious like thing going, supernatural thing. But yeah, that was throwing me off big time. Um, so the anagram thing that I want to return to, the name of the funeral parlor was Hoffler. What was it? Where is it? Whatever. It's an anagram for the flash forward. Apparently, that's what
Mm.
the that's what that was. Um, I'm going crazy. I had pulled it up. Hoff's Drawler. That's what it was. Hoff's Drawler Funeral Parlor. Anagram for flash forward. Uh, I really, I really like the twist. I'm really glad that we can keep watching the show, and that we don't have to wait 8 months for the next episode. Um, I like where this ended. I like that this. Okay, what I assume is what's going to happen in season 4, and this is what I'm hopeful for, is that like we do just flash forward into the future. Like we don't see them like getting off the island, like the immediate aftermath. I hope we don't pick up right where it ended. You know, I hope that we are like years in the future, and there's going to be this sort of like recruitment effort by Jack to get everyone to go back or something like that. Because I think it's a cool way of like okay, the show when and Ben actually addresses it with Jack a little bit, right? Like why do you want to get off this island so bad? You're so eager to get back to the hospital, like to back to fixing things. He's obviously not looking out for him, but he isn't wrong a little bit. But it's what you do when you crash land on a deserted island. You think about ways of getting home to get rescued, and I think that they wrung what they could from that, and the writers, and now it's compelling to me that they would have to return. Did you watch Squid Game season 1?
No,
Okay.
no, sorry.
Well, you're familiar with the concept of Squid
Yes.
Game, right? Okay. It's based
I
on a
mean,
Mr.
vaguely.
Beast video, I believe. Uh, but yeah, the point of Squid Game, or the titular Squid Game is like it's a game show that like you could win untold riches, but there's only going to be one winner. There's like hundreds of players, and uh, you're eliminated by like doing like wipeout style things, but it actually kills you. Wipeout, but it kills you, I guess, is kind of like the
Sure.
concept. Like you get shot to death and murdered and all this kind of thing. And
You'll win 1
after
billion Korean won, which
get a candy bar.
depending which you may or may not be a lot of USD, depending on your familiarity with the country
Yeah.
before you get drafted in. Yes. Okay.
Um, and so at some point in the show, like the contestants like figure out a theme about the show is that like everyone is choosing to be there like on purpose. Like they're recruited there because they like they're just like motivated by the money, like they're willing to endure like physical pain to like keep gambling to possibly win money. And so after like a bunch of them get like just mowed down with bullets and stuff, they hold a vote because they could choose to go home whenever they want. Like if they vote to leave, they can leave, and they hold the vote and they choose to like end the game. Everyone gets to go back, and then the thing that I really liked about the show that did it was that like they all chose to come back too, and that made like it kind of removed, because like as a viewer you're watching the show and you're like, okay, how once they realize that what they're in for, they're gonna all try to escape, and then once you like address that, like, nope, we're not about the escape, like you're gonna be like forced and locked into this, that I don't know, thought that was a really good beat for the show, and that's kind of what I hope is going on with Lost now too, where like, okay, we've addressed the like getting off the island, like the rescue desert island. Let's actually talk about like what the hell's going on this island, and like not necessarily the mystery of the island, but like, I mean, yeah, the mystery of the island, but I don't know. That's what that was a cool beat for me. I liked it.
Sure. I can't really make a
A prediction.
yes or whatever myself because I know exactly what's going to happen. But you will find out soon.
Yeah. We'll find out next week. In fact, we'll watch season 4, episodes 1 and 2. I'm going to rate this finale 4 out of 5. Both
Yeah.
parts.
I would give I give them both 4s too. Yeah.
Ultimately, I think that the lows of season 2 were lower than season 3. I was more frustrated at the show in season 2. I think that there were slightly higher highs of season 2. On the whole, season 3 more consistent. Yeah, kind of my overall diagnosis.
I think this is overall the best season so far, personally.
Yes, I think so. I think like the central concept of season 2 is still my favorite. The bunker and computer and all that, but
Sure.
this is the best season so far, quality-wise. So that's going to be it for the show today. If you like what you heard and want to hear more from Ben and I, consider joining our Patreon. That's patreon.com/Dr. Skeleton. Every week, Ben and I release an entire other show, a little hangout conversation podcast, and get into the stuff that's simply too hot for the main feed, like what do different British people sound like? Please write into the show at drskeletinsartschool@gmail.com. Leave a comment in the YouTube video to tell us what was your reaction to the finale to season 3. Did Charlie deserve it? Did he deserve to drown like a dog? Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.